Hey everybody, it is your girl, Tamala Baldwin, and you are tuning into another episode of Becoming Love. And today we are going to talk about who you are. Who are you? I mean, we are born beautiful, miraculous creatures, but sometimes life can kick the wind out of us, leaving us completely confused, completely oblivious to our true nature. So the question is, how do we get back to that? How do we get back to those powerful creatures, that ray of light? And today, to help facilitate this question is Mal Duane. And she's talking about how to go from pain to power. So what's up, Mal?
Oh, girl, we're going to have fun.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So tell everybody, who are you?
Well, today I feel I'm a very awakened and authentic woman, but there was a journey that took me to this place, and it had a lot of bumps in it.
So when you say the word awakened, what does that mean to you?
I'm aware. I know who I am now as a woman. I know my own divineness, and I own it. I own my emotions, my feelings, my choices. I'm not afraid of them anymore.
And how did you get there? Because I am a woman that is definitely still becoming, and I think my big girl panties are kind of on, but not all the way.
I know the feeling.
Yes. So what was your process like? Did you ever get kicked down, I guess? I don't want to.
Oh, yes. So I would not wish this journey on another woman. I spent 25 years addicted to alcohol, battling depression, self-loathing, failed relationships, failed marriage, and just consumed with self-condemnation. It brought me to a point that was so dark that I was completely hopeless and said, I have nothing more to live for. Let me just go. Let me just die. And when I got to that broken point of just curled up in a ball and wanting to leave this earth, was when I heard a different voice.
Oh my gosh.
And that voice said to me, oh girl, you cannot go now. You have many lessons to learn.
There was more?
Oh yes. And when you've mastered those lessons, you will need to go and teach others. And that's what I do today, Tamala. I teach others.
So can we go back to the self-condemnation? What did that look like for you?
For me, because I was in such pain and felt so worthless, the only way to get out of that pain was to drink and drug. And I thought it was numbing the pain, but it really wasn't. It was a temporary Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid came off at a given point. And there was nothing more I could do to cover over that pain because nothing worked any longer. And it was at that moment of total surrender and saying, I can't do this anymore. I don't have one more day in me to do this, is when I realized, and here comes the kick in the ass.
Okay.
It was all my own thinking that caused my suffering. It wasn't what somebody did. It wasn't that some guy broke up with me. It wasn't any of those things. It was what I thought about those things that held me hostage, that caused the self-condemnation, the self-hatred, and ultimately fueled my alcoholism. And once I realized, baby, it's all in here that's messing you up, was the day I changed my life.
So when you say that, you got a message that there's still more to go, can you paint us a picture of what that looked like? Because I'm imagining something like very mystical. And it may not be that. Oh, okay.
It was. I believe it was a divine intervention. I think it was my higher self, maybe my soul talking to me saying, oh no, sweetie, you can't go because you've got work to do. And when you figure this out, what's causing you so much pain and causing your addiction, you're going to figure this out very quickly. And I did. Tamala, I never picked up a drink again. That's not how the story goes. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
After 25 years of addiction, no, you don't just stop. I did. And I never struggled with alcohol again. And I started to progress very quickly. A burning desire came into me that I wanted to understand human potential and personal transformation. And I hit the ground running. I needed to know as much as I could learn. And for the last 28 years, that's what I have studied extensively. And I now know. I have the answers. I figured it out.
So are you going to like tell us the answers or?
Absolutely. Because that's my mission now. That's my purpose. So the first thing to tell your listeners is, if someone is in pain today, they have to understand that they are creating their suffering. It is their thinking that is creating their suffering. And there are very few things we get to control in this lifetime. But I'm going to tell you the ones that we do get to control.
Now, just to interrupt you, a lot of people are going to be like, no, it's not my thinking. No, it's them. It's my parents. It's my abuse. It's my experiences. And what do you say when you encounter that kind of resistance?
If we didn't judge those experiences so intensely, if we didn't form such judgment about whether it was good or bad, we wouldn't be having these thoughts. So it comes down to the voice that's in our head. There's two voices up there, Tamala. There's fear and there's love.
It's Tamala, by the way. Sorry.
Tamala.
Yes.
Just like Pamela.
Yeah.
So it's fear and love. And the fear is the one that says, oh my God, look what they did to you. Isn't that awful? How are you ever going to get over this? You can't. Oh my God, this is the most painful, terrible thing. The love side of you says, they did the best that they knew how to do at that time in their lives. They're not perfect. What happened to them when they were small? What inspired them to treat you this way? They have a story too. Everybody has a story.
Wow.
Now, the sooner we understand that and we can face our truth, the quicker we release that story and we start to connect with what's really true for us, our authentic selves.
And so we have to make a decision then to want to release it.
Yes. Yes, that's when the big girl pants come on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's when we say no more suffering. I can fix this. So your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices. Those are the three things you get to control. Nobody else has any type of control over that.
Okay. A lot of ownership you're talking about here. A lot of responsibility.
Well, you know what it is? When you got here to this planet, you owned it. When you were a baby, you owned it. Mm-hmm. But then stuff starts to happen. Crap happens, and we start taking on everybody else's perception, everybody else's idea of how we should be, how we should behave, and what we should do.
Yeah.
All you're going to do is you're going to wipe the lenses clean and start fresh. That's all it is. It's reclaiming what you already have.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So step one is knowing that suffering comes from my own thinking.
Yes.
And releasing the judgment of what has happened to me in the past.
Yes. Yep.
And then, being loving, understanding that other people have their own journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I understand that, and I totally think it's very true. I just know that sometimes we're so comfortable with being victims.
Yes.
Even me, I'm very comfortable with wanting to blame the people that have hurt me,
Well, that's easy. See, to be a victim is a very comfortable place to be in because it's predictable. Mm-hmm. We know, well, if I play the part of a victim, I know how that feels and I know exactly what's going to happen. But when you give up that concept of being a victim, now you're stepping into a little bit different area called the unknown. It gets a little scary because now we have to be responsible for our feelings and our choices.
Yes.
But this is where you get your power back.
Yes.
This is where you claim it.
And that's what we want. That's where we want to be, you know, and that's because so many of us are stuck in this, you know, place of being the victim. And there's so much more freedom that awaits us if we, you know, change our thinking and become masters of that. So I hear you.
You know, we think if we play the part of the victim, that people are going to say, oh, I'm so sorry I hurt you. Oh, I'm so sorry I beat you. Oh, I'm so sorry I abused you. But they don't.
They don't.
We can spend the rest of our lives waiting for them to apologize. And you know what? I mean, that was part of my suffering. I was waiting for someone to hug me and say, oh, sweetie, you know, we love you and we're sorry. Well, it doesn't happen that way.
Nope, they go on living their lives and you're still stuck holding on to the past.
Holding on to something that happened 20 years ago. Hello?
Yeah.
That's insanity. Let it go.
Yes. So what's number 2 to reclaiming our power?
Well, it's our emotions. Our thoughts create our emotions. So start with thinking first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Once you start to become very aware of the thoughts that are going on in your mind and that they're negative, you can start to monitor that and correct it. And you've just got to pay attention. Oh, that's negative, and I'm not thinking that anymore. And it takes some practice. It's not going to happen overnight. But the more you practice, the better you will get with it. And one of the things to supplement that practice is meditation.
Mm.
If you start a practice of meditation and journaling, you're going to weave through all the weeds. They're going to come up and you're going to go, nope, that's not true anymore for me. Nope, that's not who I am. Nope, that doesn't matter to me anymore. It's not important.
So I have, I guess, 2 questions from that little nugget that you just said. Emotions. As women, I believe that, you know, the media kind of paints this picture that it's okay, especially now, to let our emotions run amok. You know, you see all these women on reality TV just acting crazy. And it's kind of become like, well, that's how women are. We're emotional. We have no restraint. So when it comes to, I guess, changing your life, what do you think about emotionalism? What do you tell the young woman that that's all she sees, you know, when it comes to changing her life? How do you take control of your emotions?
Well, I think reality TV was created by the devil.
Mm.
I mean, that does not serve women. It's not complementary to what our power and divineness is all about. That to me is trash. And they're acting. I mean, that's not really how women behave.
I don't know any women that act that way, but I really don't.
But we have to own our emotions.
Yes.
We have to own our feelings because we created them. Somebody else didn't do that. Those emotions come from within us, and they are directly connected to your thought patterns. So we have to own that stuff. And the sooner, the sooner you can claim your authority, your ownership of these pieces that we're talking about, the sooner you can say, wait a minute, nobody else does this but me. This is all me creating this upset and this pain. The sooner you can take that ownership, the faster you're going to move through all this stuff. You can't keep pointing at someone else.
So when you had the epiphany that you were going to transform your thinking, when you started meditating, what did it look like for you, like at that beginning phase of your journey?
Well, meditation is a little bit of a struggle at first because we all have this idea that there's a perfect way to do it. There isn't. The only way to do it is your way. Mm-hmm. It's a very individual experience. You can sit for 5 minutes, you could sit for 30 minutes, you can chant, you can sing, you could walk in nature, you could be walking on a treadmill. You might be just listening to some beautiful Buddhist chanting music or whatever. It's whatever gets you to quiet the mind down, to quiet that little voice that keeps telling you you're not good enough, you should have done this, they should have done that, who do you think you are? When you can shut that voice down, then the voice of love will emerge.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's the guidance you want.
The voice of love.
Yes.
Now, the
It's
voice of love
right
is
in there,
always, and it's
girl.
always with us, this voice of love, right?
Yes.
And I guess it's just a matter of shifting from, like you said, from the one that's ego more focused to one of love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I love it. The voice of love. I love it. So what's number 3?
Choices. So now once you go through thoughts, and now you've got your emotions stabilized, and you're not doing this roller coaster of ups and downs of love and hate and anger, but once you get your emotions stabilized, now you can look at things with a little bit more clarity and balance. And that's when good choices start to come in. So you can look at something, and instead of reacting like one of those housewives, and, and going bonkers, you can respond with control.
Love. With control.
With love, with emotional control, with clarity, with compassion. And you can respond from a place of your own power. You can make choices. You're making choices while you're standing in power and not in a place of being a victim.
And I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking that in order for us to really make those powerful, controlled choices, we really have to have step 1, which is the shift in mindset. And that is going to take repetition.
Takes practice. It's like a muscle, like going to the gym. You don't build a big bicep by not exercising it. It's the same thing with the mind. Every day, try to start your day from a place of quiet and peace, and allow that voice of love to come in. The volume's going to get a little higher and a little higher and a little higher, and then you're really going to start paying attention. You're going to go, oh, that is just so soothing and comforting. Yes, that's what I want to do. Yes, that's where I want to go. Yes, that's who I want to be with.
I kind of want to, I'm getting a little bit emotional because I know what it's like to want to beat yourself up, or what it's like to beat yourself up mentally, to think that you're not good enough, to think that you're nothing, and so forth. And there's so many people that simply cannot find the time or make the commitment or develop the discipline to exercise that shift. So how would someone, do you have any tools or advice to help with that, to help with cultivating that discipline?
Tamala, you're not the only girl who has not felt good enough in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I had 25 years of it. I felt worthless, and I almost killed myself drinking because I felt worthless. I think when we have choices of, do we want to feel worthless, or do we want to create change in our lives and live in a state of love and peace, I think the choice is pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many apps out now and things to support a meditation practice. You can use your iPhone, and you can go into, I think it's called, one is, I'll tell you, let me put my glasses on. There's like 3 or 4 great apps. There's Headspace is one. Also YouTube. You can go in and you can Google meditation videos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gazillion of them that will teach you different types of practices. Kundalini breathing, chanting, mantras. And there's one, though, that's really, really good, and I've got it right here. It's a little, where is it? It's a beautiful little bowl right on my iPhone. Oh, Mind Body probably has something. Insight Timer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great one. So these are all little apps, and most of them are free, and just use one of those.
Okay.
Or just put headphones on and listen to sounds of nature, birds chirping, a waterfall going, just like a little white noise in the background. Anything that is soothing, just to quiet that raging little crazy mind down.
I love it. No, I think it's great. I'm a huge person of listening to amazing audio when I meditate, but it took me understanding and realizing or adjusting my self-worth. And that's the part that I think is the hardest. And I keep reiterating that because I know that it's so hard for us to think that we're worthy of love, that we're worthy of something different than the self-condemnation that we've grown so accustomed to, you know?
Well, we were all created by God. And maybe not everybody uses the God word. It could be universe. It could be Mother Nature. Look, we are divine beings. It has been said over and over and over again in literature. We are divine beings having a human experience.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm not going to argue with that. I think people a lot smarter than me got that one right.
Yes.
So I'm just going to step up and play the part. And yeah, I embrace that. I embrace my spirituality. I embrace my divineness. You know, women, look at us. We're magnificent creatures. Look at you. You're a ray of light. You know, and you're bringing, you know, joy and compassion in teachings to other women. That's divineness.
Thank you, thank you. So I guess with you, when you were, you know, drinking and you had enough, remembering who you were, was that part of your transformation? And was it, and how did you, I guess, cultivate that and really embed that into your thinking?
Well, it was a journey. You know, it's 28 years later now, and I've read over 1,000 books, everything from Adyashanti to Gary Zukov. I've worked with the best of spiritual mentors and teachers and coaches and taken classes. I mean, let me tell you, it didn't just happen overnight. I really worked at it because I knew in my soul that there was something so much better waiting for me. Yes, it was there. I just had to go get it.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
I wasn't put here to suffer. You weren't put here to suffer. I just had to take the steps. And it was not giant steps. It was baby steps to get where I am today. But I'm here.
Yes.
And I'm loving it. And not that life is going to be perfect. Look at the cosmic 2x4 came by and hit me on the head a couple of years ago, knocked me to my knees. But guess what? Now I know how to get up.
Yes.
With grace.
Yes, with grace.
Yes, that's the difference. Now I know how to get up with grace and still love myself and say, okay, that happened and that sucks. But I'm still here and I'm strong and I'm still going.
So we all have to, I guess, acknowledge and trust that we are here for something greater and not to suffer. And that's, I think, what happens when we let life get in the way, is that we forget that we're not here to suffer.
Suffering is not part of it. But I'll tell you something, it's the greatest freaking teacher you'll ever meet.
Yes.
Because from the situations that cause us great pain, they are powerful teachers. And I said that to you before we started. My greatest teachers have been my pain. Because I looked at the situation, I said, whoa, wait a minute. Look at this nugget of wisdom right here. This is what I'm meant to learn. This is what I'm meant to take in and grow. This is going to expand my soul and my whole purpose on this earth by accepting this lesson and understanding.
I love it. So I love stories. So do you perhaps want to share a story where you were in the middle of the wilderness or a challenge, whatever you want to call it, and the lesson that came as a result? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'll share one with you. I'm recently divorced from a man that I thought was my soulmate. And I discovered after 10 years of marriage that there had been a terrible betrayal that had been long-term. Now, the old Mal would have crumbled, rolled up in a ball, been so consumed by that pain and that betrayal that I consciously probably couldn't make good choices. I would have just been rolling around in the mud. But I now think of myself as a lotus, and I know how to stand tall in those murky, muddy waters. And that's exactly what I did. I chose to deal with the situation with grace and love. I wanted the highest and best outcome for both of us. And when you have that kind of mindset, you go through and you get on the other side of it and you say, you know what? I'm glad I conducted myself that way. I'm glad I did what I did. I'm strong. I'm on the other side of it. Life goes on.
Oh, you're so mature.
I got my big girl pants on today, honey. I do. You know what they say down the side? Do better.
I mean, that all I kept thinking is that you handle that with such grace and such poise. And a lot of our power does come from that. You know, one of my favorite authors, Christian D. Lawson, has a book called Poise and Power. Mm-hmm. That's a great lesson. Great story. Thank you.
It's by choice. I made choices that were good choices as I went through a very challenging and difficult time. My heart was broken open. But you know what I did? I looked in at that break, in that big split, there was light. And I said, where is this light going to take me? It's going to show me a new path.
One of my favorite quotes by Rumi is, the wound is where the light enters you. And I remember having my heart broken open like that. And it was only then that I was able to really experience God in another level. It was, it had to happen, that breaking down, you know, and light just took its place, you know?
You know what's interesting? I think that women who have been brokenhearted, they need to wear that broken heart like a badge of courage. That's what I call it. Because you know what? You stood up. You played the game. You loved greatly. You gave it all. You were in 100%.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And guess what? Next time, you'll be right there, 100%. You will be vulnerable. You'll be open, and you will love dearly.
I love it. Hopefully. I'm still afraid. I mean, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
It takes a little time to bounce back, takes a little time to recover.
Yeah.
But this is where you self-nurture. This is where you do your meditation. This is where you do your journaling. This is where you get facials and mani-pedis and, you know, have a couple of bonbons and have a cup. This is where you self-nurture and treat yourself like the goddess that you are.
Amen. Amen to that, sister. Okay.
Yeah. So I am so good at treating myself like a goddess. I got to tell you. I got that one down pat.
What does your self-care look like?
It's exercise. It's bulletproof oil in my coffee. It's mani-pedis. It's great skincare. It's keeping my hair, you know, color, easy cut. It's playing with my dog. It's a lot of me time. It's a lot of spiritual reading and meditation. I love education. I go on retreats. Yeah, I take really good care of myself.
I love it. I love it. So after we have realized who we are, you know, that we are not here to suffer, and we're changing our thought process, we're not beating ourselves up, and we have some kind of emotional control now, and we're making better choices, what's the last and final step, I guess?
The final step is to trust yourself now.
That's a big one.
Yes, it is. So we've got all these good tools going on. We're paying attention to what we're thinking. We're working on our emotional fiber and reactions, because those absolutely control choices. And now we're making good choices. Trust yourself. Trust yourself fully. You are the queen of your kingdom. So why not be the queen? Why not enjoy that beautiful place that you're in? Don't doubt it. Don't doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. When you have faith in yourself, an unstoppable, unwavering belief in you, that's when you become the most magical manifester on the planet. That's when you get anything you want.
Speaking of manifesting, why do you think that some people manifest quicker than others?
Because they think they're deserving of it. And that's the component that the law of attraction, a lot of, like The Secret and a lot of the teachings, leave out. You need to feel that you're deserving of what you're putting out there. So when you put an intention out to the universe, and goals don't work. Goals are only little wispy wishes and desires. Intention has energy. It's got the soul of the universe behind it. So if you want to create something, you set an intention, you set that intention out there. You've got to believe you're worthy of what you're asking for. You don't believe that you deserve it, it's not showing up. That's it. Not coming.
And I guess to feel worthy just takes changing your thinking.
Changing your emotions and your choices.
Awesome. Well, that was amazing. Like, that was a lot of like powerful information. How can people learn more about you and connect with you, like, and work with you?
I'd be happy to share that. My website is malduanecoach.com. Up on the right-hand corner of the site, there is a free gift. It's a 6-video series about what we're talking about today, but in a little bit more depth. So there's 6 videos. It's called Heal Your Heart, Reclaim Your Worth. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Reclaiming our worth. It's all free. Go in, get it. There's a worksheet that goes with it. And then if you want, you can always reach out for a deeper conversation with me.
Oh, I love it. I'm definitely going to go and get my gifts because I think the heart is the gateway. The heart is so important. And the heart, I think, will, unleash all of our magnificence, in our lives.
You're absolutely right, Tamala.
So any last little nuggets you want to leave with the people that are tuning in today?
Well, I would love to reassure anyone that's listening today that they are worthy. No one can take away our worthiness except us. No one. And they're infinitely more powerful than they believe. And they can do all of this with just a little bit of effort, a little bit of practice, a little bit of commitment. Start small, you work your way up. But you can reclaim your power, your life, your worthiness. Anything that you feel has been stripped away over time, you can get it all back.
No matter what has happened.
I'm living proof, girl.
Yes. And no matter what has happened, you can reclaim that.
Yes.
Oh, you're amazing.
Thanks, honey. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here. You are a well of wisdom and insight. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Becoming Love. Make sure you connect with Mel, and I will see you next time. Well, talk to you next time. All right. Bye.